In a time crazier than a deranged psycho's nightmare, at the heart of the uproar was a small, freaking out-of-your-mind town named Mordantum. In this chaotic place, a young firecracker named Cassidy Reeves was getting ready to paint the town with her grand, daring entrance. Imagine a kid with hair that screamed louder than a sunrise, and eyes greener than the envy found at a Hollywood awards show, harboring a soul ready to kick evil in the face like a powerhouse action hero. Yeah, that's Cassidy for you. The would-be psychic detective gearing up to mess with the laws of reality itself. Let's rewind a bit to when Cassidy was an 8-year-old, flame-haired force of nature. The town was grappling with a sickness more vicious than wildfire, raging through neighborhoods faster than juicy gossip in a close-knit community. It was a fever burning brighter and hotter than a midsummer afternoon, leaving the townsfolk with minds boiling in turmoil and bodies racked with chills, causing their untimely death. The town of Mordantum, once a hub of ceaseless chatter and laughter, had succumbed to a chilling hush. The streets, typically bustling with activity, were now deserted, the usual hum of daily life replaced by a tense, suffocating silence. In the town square, where vendors once loudly hawked their wares, a solitary figure, the barista from the local coffee shop, stood behind his counter. His usual lively banter with customers was now subdued, his eyes darting anxiously. A young girl, clutching her smartphone, walked out, her curiosity overcoming her mother's stern warnings. She approached the barista, her voice barely above a whisper. "Why is everyone so quiet? Is there, like, a new silent challenge on TikTok or something?" The barista let out a small, weary chuckle. No TikTok challenges. Just seems like folks are afraid that talking too loud might invite the fever over. Cassidy's parents feared for her safety, rushing to the town's peculiar healer who had a knack for the odd more than medicine. The scenario became tense as Mom and Dad carried her limp body into the healer's home. You could almost smell the mix of strange herbs as they enveloped little Cassidy, a last-ditch attempt to shield her brain from the cruel clutches of the rampant sickness. His home was like stepping into another world. As they entered, he greeted them, his voice soft yet clear. "Ah, the Reeves family. I've been expecting you. The winds told me we'd have visitors today." Dad, trying to keep the mood light despite his worry, quipped, "I didn't know the winds were such gossips." The healer smiled, the corners of his eyes crinkling. "Oh, they tell all sorts of secrets. Now let's see what we can do for young Cassidy." Inside his home, Cassidy sat timidly on a wooden stool, her bright red hair seeming to glow against the room's dimness. The healer busied himself at his workbench, grinding herbs and muttering to himself. Mom, holding Cassidy's hand, tried to sound cheerful. "This will be just like one of your adventure stories, Cassidy. He's the wise wizard, and you're the brave hero." Cassidy, trying to mask her nervousness, managed a small smile. "Do I get a hero's sword, too?" The healer turned, holding a steaming cup. "No swords, young one." "But this," he said, handing her the cup, "is a potion of great power. It might taste a bit odd, though." Cassidy wrinkled her nose at the cup's strong, earthy smell, but bravely took a sip. "Tastes like I licked a tree," she remarked, causing her parents to chuckle despite their worry. Despite the potion, the fever took hold of Cassidy. As Cassidy lay in her coma, her mind was thrust into a bizarre realm. She found herself standing in a shadowy space, the air thick with an ominous feeling. Before her stood the Grim Reaper, his presence both terrifying and mesmerizing. "Welcome, Cassidy," the Reaper intoned. "Your challenge begins." Cassidy, her heart pounding, found herself facing a series of trials. First, she navigated through a maze of shifting walls, each turn leading her deeper into the game. The walls seemed to whisper, voices trying to confuse and frighten her, but Cassidy pressed on, using her wit and courage to find her way. Then she was presented with puzzles and riddles, each more complex than the last. She tackled them with a mix of humor and cleverness, her mind racing to untangle the words and find the hidden meanings. The final challenge was a confrontation with shadowy figures that emerged from the dark. Cassidy, though scared, stood her ground. She remembered her father's words. "Face your fears, and they lose their power." With this thought, she watched as the shadows dissipated, revealing nothing but empty air. She said to herself, "That's right. I just lightened the mood. Too easy, death." Coming back from the brink, Cassidy discovered a brand new world within herself. Her latent psychic powers arose, a realm brimming with unbelievable abilities. She returned with more upgrades than a mechanized cop. She could sense danger before it struck, move things without laying a finger on them, and had visions flashing before her like futuristic videos streaming in her mind. Cassidy, oh wow, I feel everything. Guided by her wise parents, Cassidy kept her newfound abilities a secret, honing her skills in private until she couldn't contain them anymore. Her folks were probably like, what in the flibberted gibbet? Our Sprout can see into tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed that. Last vid for a while. Get the book when it is out in 2024. Later.